Place the charges around the perimeter, where designated on your maps. I'll give you the signal when it's time to light the fuse. Have we checked this settlement for civilians? For innocents? I don't mean to question you, sir, and I do apologize, but I just want to make sure we're not doing any unnecessary harm. Hoffrey, what is our objective? Defeating the Rockjaw clan and freeing passage through the northern gates, sir. And why is this our objective? To get necessary medical supplies and to expand our border where it rightfully belongs. So you understand this is all a means to an end. Don't question me again. You know better. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand. I have a bad feeling about this. Welcome to class. I'm Trevor, and I post D&D videos every week, generally on Wednesdays. This video is going to be a bit of an experiment. I'm getting my first opportunity to play in a D&D game rather than DM one. I'm a forever DM. And soon, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be able to play in a campaign as a character. And I'm very excited about it. And I thought that this would be a great opportunity to go through character creation and the character concept that I have in mind. If this character-focused video does well, then I'm happy to do more of them. I'd love to do a video like this for each of the classes or each of the subclasses or what have you. I really love this, and I come up with character concepts all the time. I just don't often get to play them, because I'm constantly DMing games rather than being a player. When it came to creating the character for this campaign, I decided to kind of take a backseat and play Phil. I let my other friends who are playing in the campaign decide what characters they're coming up with, and then I decided this character based on what I thought would best suit the party makeup. This is just one option for character creation, and I have other character ideas in mind, but once I came up with this idea and saw a need in it's a small party, it's only 3 of us playing, I fell in love with this idea and I really wanted to play it. So you were introduced to this character in the cold open, and his name is Hoffrey. Hoffrey is a veteran and a Peace Cleric. I'm not going to go through all of the stats. I haven't rolled stats for Hoffrey yet. I also don't know if we're rolling or using standard array or exactly how we're doing stats for this game. But what I will share is my preferred order for stats, essentially. So I'm going to choose to put most of my stats, like make wisdom the highest, followed by constitution and then strength. For my dump stat, I was going back and forth between intelligence and dexterity, but I think I'm going with dexterity. I imagine Hoffrey, in a lot of ways a lot like myself, being not that coordinated and more of a tank and like very sure-footed, but not so good at something like acrobatics, for example. For background, I picked the soldier background because this fits a lot for the character archetype. And I guess I can go into that a little bit at this point. Hoffrey is a veteran. He was a member of a dwarvish clan that was at war. They were fighting another clan for travel routes. It was kind of just what I described in the cold open. And Hoffrey is there was an incident that happened. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go with the exact one that I used in this cold open, but there was some sort of incident that made Hoffrey feel betrayed by his cause, right? Like his general or someone above him in the line of command was acting too ruthlessly. And that put him off of this military lifestyle. I haven't decided if he's going to have left disgracefully or finished his time. Probably the former. He'll probably have essentially gone AWOL from his post in order to take up the mantle of peace. I don't necessarily see Hoffrey being a complete pacifist. I think that playing a character like that can be really hard and very disruptive for a game, but I will do what I can to lean more passive, right? I won't generally make the first blow with Hoffrey. You'll notice that when it comes to my cantrip choices and spell choices, most of them are not going to be damage dealing. They will primarily be crowd control and healing and supportive style spells. But I do not want to put a limitation on my party with a character that's so moralistic that there's only one quote-unquote correct way to play. I think that can be too limiting for a group, so I'm not going to take this subclass quite that far. Hoffrey, he's going to be a Peace Cleric. This is in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and it is specifically on page 32. So there are, there's a rundown, and there are examples of what, gods you could worship if you're playing in a traditional or some of the traditional settings. I'm not necessarily worrying about this. I'm not focusing so much on piety. Although I guess obviously that is a big thing for clerics. I'll have to talk to my DM about how we want to play that part out exactly. At level 1, we also get the list of domain spells, which are right here. We get Implement of Peace. You gain proficiency in Insight, Performance, and Persuasion. There is some overlap with this skill versus some of the other just stuff you get from being a cleric, and that's a little bit frustrating, but it's perfectly fine. And then you get Emboldening Bond, which is the biggest thing that really excited me about this subclass. You can see it right here, and I'm also going to read it. You can forge an empowering bond among people who are at peace with one another. As an action, you choose a number of willing creatures within 30 feet of you. This can include yourself, equal to your proficiency bonus. You create a magical bond among them for 10 minutes or until you use this feature again. While any bonded creature is within 30 feet of another, the creature can roll a d4 and add the roll to an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it makes. Each creature can only add the d4 once per turn. You can't do it more than once. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This is an incredible class feature that's also a lot like Bless and stacks with Bless. It's really cool, and I love imagining the literal, or I guess metaphorical, tether between the characters that's kind of linking them together in this chain. I'm really excited to see how this plays out in the game, and it just seems like an additional layer of tactics for this type of character. And I think that that's really important because when you're playing a character that's more peace driven, they're probably not going to be rushing into the throes of battle. They might be taking hits, but you want to give them, from like a game design perspective, you want to give them something to do that isn't just go aggro all the time, right? And a feature like this kind of gives that opportunity. There's an importance in like tactical placement so you can get as many people as possible and like link your chain or link them together. I'm really excited about this specific feature of being a Peace Cleric. For spells, the cantrips that I'm looking at are Guidance, Mending, and Spare the Dying. And for first level spells, the first ones that stuck out to me, besides the ones that I get for the Divine Domain, are Bless, Healing Word, and Command. These spells just fit the concept or the core idea I have for playing Joffrey. Let's move on to level 2. At level 2, all clerics get their Channel Divinity, which is like the default one is Turn Undead, but for a Peace Cleric, you also get the option called Balm of Peace. You can use your Channel Divinity to make your very presence a soothing balm. As an action, you can move your speed without provoking opportunity attacks, and when you move within 5 feet of another creature during this action, you can restore a number of hit points to that creature equal to 2d6 plus your Wisdom modifier. A creature can receive this healing only once whenever you take this action. This is a really cool version of like dash and disengage and a heal. I love this. Obviously, it uses up that Channel Divinity feature, but again, it plays with the tactical elements that I think feel very important for this subclass, which is really what I'm looking forward to when it comes to playing Joffrey. I'm looking forward to like how I position in combat mattering, and also trying to engage with the enemy in ways that are not just like casting Guiding Bolt, for instance, or running up and swinging my Warhammer, which I will have if absolutely necessary. Let's get on to level 3. Level 3 really just brings the next level of spells, and for second level spells, the two that kind of struck me for Joffrey were Hold Person and Silence. These are spells that allow him a sense of control, but don't inflict harm unnecessarily. You can make an argument that Hold Person is worse than actually inflicting damage. That is a quandary, right? Like there's something to be said for that. But I think that these spells allow that kind of tactical style of play that I'm really looking for. Let's jump into level 4. Now, I haven't decided how I'm going to handle the ability score improvement yet. Honestly, as a player, even though I haven't had that much experience playing, I generally just try to get my main stat up as high as possible, as quickly as possible. So there's a possibility that I'll just go 2 points into wisdom and call it a day. If I do end up taking a feat, and this is also dependent on whether or not our DM is having us use feats, I'm thinking about either going with Sentinel, which again makes sense for this tactical style of play, or Heavy Armor. This might seem weird, and I don't even know if this is necessarily like the best choice. I don't care about that personally, but Heavy Armor as a feat choice gives me an opportunity to add a layer of tankiness. As a Peace Cleric, I can't wear Heavy Armor, but I can wear Medium Armor because I'm a Dwarf. And I like the ability to scale that up, if you will, and be able to take more of a hit and become more of that tank that is taking blows but never or very rarely resorting to dealing them back. And finally, we get to level 5. I get another cantrip at this level. I'm thinking about Thaumaturgy. At this point, maybe I would have to take like Toll the Dead or something like that. And then Revivify and Aura of Vitality were the 3rd level spells when I was first looking through the spell list that really struck a nerve with me or made me feel like it seems like, especially Revivify, is really important for a character like this. I love this, I don't know, the whole ability to undo that ultimate mistake, right? To bring someone back from the dead. Obviously, it would have to be very immediate, but this seems like it would be a goal of this character if they were a part of a cog in a machine that was unnecessarily causing destruction, at least from their perspective. I think that Joffrey would want to be able to undo that. And Revivify is, in a way, a small scale opportunity to undo that unnecessary violence and bring someone back who otherwise can't, right? Like, obviously death is otherwise very permanent. So this is my idea for like my 3rd or 4th character that I've gotten to play in a game. And I'm really excited to see how it goes. I hope that this character plays the way that I'm envisioning it in my head, and only time will tell if that's the case. If you enjoy this more character-focused content, leave a comment, like this video. It would really mean the world. Subscribe to the channel. And if you have a suggestion for the next class or subclass you'd like me to cover from this perspective, please let me know. I have some crazy ideas, and I'd love to do more videos like this, but it's not a space that I've delved into up until this point. But if there's interest, I'd be happy to do it. So let me know in the comments down below if it is something that's interesting. And as I always say, be safe. Make smart life choices.